Mindset precedes methods. These 7 mindsets are what's going to help you get lean, fit, and athletic and stay there long term. These are standards of operating. Number 1, I always walk into the gym with intention. I get to train. So often people walk into the gym and they're on their phone the entire time. They don't really have a plan. They're just going through the motions in there. And it's great that you're in the gym. But the reality is we can get so much more out of those sessions if we set an intention before we get to the gym. It can be super simple. It doesn't have to be fancy. We do not have to have the perfect programming to get results. But if you simply pause before you walk into the gym and you say, today I'm going to focus on really focusing on the contraction in my back when I train. Today I'm going to eliminate any cheating with reps, any swinging, unnecessary swinging. Today I'm going to focus on my breathing when I lift. There's endless things you could focus on, but just setting an intention before you go into the gym to train can really help create a lot of awareness and can really help build your skill as a lifter or someone who's in the gym. The last part is I get to train is so different from I have to train. We're given the gift of this body that even has the physical ability to get in the gym and lift or get in the gym and work out or whatever type of exercise you enjoy. So we should look towards it with gratitude, with joy, and just being happy that we get to be in there versus having to be in there. Mindset number 2, I eat intentionally, only on my terms, and only when needed. A lot of things that derail people on their nutrition, their health, their fitness is being reactive with food. They're over hungry, they come home and they just eat everything in sight without any intention on portions or how much they actually want to eat or what they want to eat. Or we show up to some party or event and we think we have to eat just because there's food out. Maybe even someone brings us food and we feel obligated to eat it. But the reality is that the food you eat turns into your body, it turns into your cells. It affects greatly how you feel, how you operate in the world, and overall it's an investment in your long-term health. The things that you're eating now are going to dramatically affect aging later down the road. So if you have this mindset of I eat intentionally, only when needed, and on my terms, it just helps bring some clarity to what you're eating. And maybe you do have those intentional indulgences and try some things. We're not robots, you can have those desserts that are intentional and mindful. But operating from this standard is going to create a baseline consistency with healthy food and being intentional versus reactive with your food choices. Mindset number 3, I say no to temptation easily. I don't explain, I don't defend, I know my goals. This one's really important mindset to have because it's about the language that we use. A lot of the times people say, oh, I had cake because I couldn't resist it. Or they started serving ice cream and I couldn't control it and I couldn't stop myself. And we can't give our power away to things like ice cream and sweets. They're inanimate objects. It's just a thing. And to say that that has power over us is not a good standard to be setting. It's not a good pattern to be wiring in your brain. So with this first part of saying, I say no to temptation easily, it just builds that new story that you can easily pass up on the foods when you want to that don't fit your goals. But the part about I don't explain, I don't defend comes in with social situations. So often if we choose health in a social situation, people are going to judge that decision and say, oh, come on, it's just one piece of pizza. Or, oh, come on, just eat some dessert. Or, oh, you're not gonna eat that, are you? And we get this outside pressure. And the reality is their goals are not your goals. So you don't have to explain those decisions. You don't have to defend those food decisions. There is nothing more serious, if you think about it, than the food that goes in your body. And this just kind of helps create a baseline layer of like, I'm gonna make a decision, I'm gonna pass up temptation easily, and I'm eating what I truly wanna eat to serve my goals. Number 4, I protect and prioritize mealtime. If you have this mindset, it means that your standard is creating a little bit of time each day to protect mealtime. There's a Tony Robbins quote that I love that says, if you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. And I think about that a lot with mealtime. So often we're eating in the car, stuffing our face. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Busy meetings, work days get out of hand. schedules get pushed, but we want to try to the best of our ability to carve out 10 minutes to build a meal that's intentional, and then to sit down and chew thoroughly, eat mindfully, be present with the food. Because that 10 minutes of a great meal is going to fuel us for 5 to 6 hours or more of uninterrupted productivity. The other benefit of being present with your food is that you actually are aware of how much you're eating. You're not distracted, so it actually helps us feel more satisfied after the meal is over. And maybe this standard of protecting and prioritizing mealtime means that you have to press stop and go grab some healthy food for an hour. Whatever it takes to get there, get a healthy meal, and just protect that lunchtime, because you know you have a big day ahead of you, a long evening, and that lunch is going to be critical to feeling and performing your best. So protect and prioritize mealtime is the standard. Number 5, what I choose to eat is just as important as what I choose not to eat. We're choosing what not to eat because it doesn't serve our goals. We're choosing what not to eat because it might cause us food allergies. We're choosing what not to eat because we know it's going to help push the calories overboard, and we don't want to do that. So we have all these things that we don't want to eat, but it's just as important to know what you do want to eat. Whole, nutrient-dense, real foods, things that are going to take care of your cells in your body now and set you up for long-term success down the road. Nutrient deficiencies aren't going to show up today. They're going to show up in the long term, 20, 25 years from now. So what you eat now is just as important as what you choose not to eat now. I always say that a healthy choice today is like a little deposit in your health bank account that's going to show up 90 days from now. Whether it's on the scale, whether it's in muscle mass, or whether it's in internal numbers like blood sugar, cholesterol, A1C, certain things that you want to improve. What you're choosing to eat, about 90% of the time is going to have dramatic effects on how you look, feel, and perform on a daily basis. Number 6, I feel no urgency because I know my process leads to lasting results. This one is tricky because transformation with your health is going to take time, and we're investing in the long term. But what this means about I feel no urgency and expect exceptional results is that we're focused on the process goals every day. Getting up and getting a workout in, drinking plenty of water, getting great sleep and protecting sleep, eating whole, real, nutrient-dense foods 80 to 90% of the time, focusing on quality. If you're doing those process goals, it's going to lead to exceptional results. It's going to be unreasonable that you don't actually achieve results. And you don't have to feel any urgency about it because we're taking it day by day by day. Every day is day one for health. What you ate before, those calories, the fate of them has been stored. When you wake up, you have to do it all over again. Even if the previous day was an excellent day of food and training, you still have to wake up and do it again the next day. So there's really no urgency on this process. And what I see happen is people are not seeing results fast enough. There's not enough patience there. There's not enough investment in the long term. So they look for hacks. They strategy hop. They change things up too rapidly. One day they're carnivore, the next week they're keto, and then they're back to eating carbs. And you don't really know what's working, and you don't really stick to anything long enough to assess whether it's working for you or not. So pick a plan, focus on the process goals, work with someone who's already achieved what you're trying to accomplish to help guide the path and make sure you're on the right track. But there shouldn't be any urgency. We're going to wake up every day, take it choice by choice, and follow those process goals that are going to lead to your ultimate outcome. The 7th and final one is the most important. I know I can always win the day with food, no matter what the circumstances. This standard is all about turning this into a fun game. Gamify it. It's like no matter where I am, no matter what is on hand, I can always find a way to win on the food. If you have a full day of travel and you're stuck in an airport, that food is not very appealing. There's a bunch of junk in there. You can choose not to eat. That's a day where you have a fast for the first part of the day. And then to find a way to win, you can plan when you land at your destination, look up ahead of time online. What healthy restaurants are nearby the airport? Go look at the menu. Choose the exact item you're going to get when you get there so that you're not too hungry or that you're not being reactive with your choices. Or maybe you have a big pizza dinner or pasta dinner coming up at night. You're trying to lose some weight, so you're watching your carbs, you're watching your fat intake. You know that Italian dinner is going to take you overboard on fats and carbs for a single meal. So you can win the day by pulling the fats and carbs out of your meals earlier, focusing on more lean protein and veggies, and that's going to create wiggle room in the evening for what's coming later. You can still win the day on food. If you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, you got to go through a drive-thru. Maybe you can find some grilled chicken nuggets and a salad. You can go into a convenience store, get a protein bar, a banana, and some almonds. In any scenario, we can look at all the options on hand, everything that's around us, and we can say, how can I do my best here? Sometimes it might even mean driving to a grocery store nearby and walking through and getting a half pound of deli turkey and throwing it on a pre-made salad. Or you walk over to the dairy section and you get some Greek yogurt, you get some blueberries, and you get some type of walnuts or macadamia nuts, whatever you want. There is always a way to win. And if you have that mindset, you're going to be operating at a high level with your health. Thanks for watching this. I hope you find it helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.